Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. Things remain slow on the WWE Network and Peacock front, at least in terms of new content. Despite that, more new programming is still coming and that fans of World Wrestling Entertainment can check out at any time. For example, the week featured a handful of intriguing uploads. Monday kicked things off with a new edition of Raw Talk, which featured the likes of Zelina Vega and The Final Testament. Tuesday saw a week-old episode of NXT added to the archives. Wednesday saw just one upload, which was a month-old episode of Monday Night Raw. The bump used to air on Wednesdays too, but there hasn't had a new episode in many weeks. Lastly, a new edition of This Week in WWE aired on Thursday. For full-length videos were added throughout the week, and the two streaming platforms aim to match that over the course of the weekend. This article will take a detailed look at each new video set to arrive on demand. 4. The SmackDown Lowdown will air. A new episode of the SmackDown Lowdown will arrive on WWE Network and Peacock this weekend. More specifically, the show that breaks down the action from Nick Aldis' Blue Brand will air on Saturday, July 27th, at around 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those unaware, this series is hosted by Megan Morant and Scott Stanford. The two veteran crew members analyze the events from SmackDown the prior night, plus 3 select interviews are spliced in from the arena featuring some stars from the Blue Brand. Last week's edition of the SmackDown Lowdown can be seen on demand, and the interviews from the episode are featured in the video above. LA Knight was the first to chat, followed by the duo of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Lastly, DIY's Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa were interviewed. 3. WWE Main Event and AMP Number 2. Friday Night SmackDown. 2 recent shows will be added to the archives. 2 shows that recently aired elsewhere will be arriving on WWE Network and Peacock this weekend. This includes Main Event, which first airs on Hulu before being added to the archives a few weeks later, and Friday Night SmackDown. SmackDown first airs on Fox and can be added on demand after a 30-day period. WWE Main Event from July 11, 2024, will be added to the archives on Saturday, July 27th. This edition of the series was headlined by a rematch between the LWO's Joaquin Wilde and Dragon Lee taking on the Creed brothers. Alba Fire vs. Isla Dawn was also included on the card. Friday Night SmackDown from June 28, 2024, will arrive on demand on both platforms on Sunday, July 28th. This was a massive edition of SmackDown, as it aired live from New York City's Madison Square Garden. The night was a bad one for Paul Heyman. The Bloodline held an acknowledgement ceremony segment, and Solo Sikoa demanded he be called Heyman's tribal chief. Paul refuses and is assaulted and put through the announce table in a shocking display of violence. 1. NXT Level Up will stream. NXT Level Up will be airing a brand new episode on Friday, July 26th. This edition of the White and Gold brand secondary show will stream at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time immediately following SmackDown on Fox on both WWE Network and Peacock. The Peacock version, however, will not be added to the archives after airing due to a contractual obligation with Hulu. Instead, fans will need to wait 2 weeks or so to check it out. If fans want to see the episode on Peacock without a long delay, they must watch it at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As is the norm with NXT Level Up, the show will feature 3 matches. The main event promoted for this edition of the series will see Level Up's gatekeeper Dante Chen take on Cutler James. The other 2 matches on Level Up are quite interesting. The popular Jada Parker, who is taking over NXT, will battle Layla Diggs. Lastly, the feud between Dion Lennox and Uriah Connors continues after their recent falling out. As the weekend approaches, WWE fans have a jam-packed lineup to look forward to on the WWE Network and Peacock. With 4 thrilling shows premiering, anticipation is high, especially given the recent tumultuous events surrounding Paul Heyman. Here's a detailed look at what's in store and the buzz around one of WWE's most enigmatic figures. 1. WWE Main Event Mayhem. The first show to kick off the weekend is WWE Main Event Mayhem, a high-octane event showcasing the talents that often get overshadowed on the main roster. This show promises to spotlight rising stars and underutilized superstars. Expect thrilling matches, surprising alliances, and potentially new challengers emerging from the ranks. The roster for this episode includes fan favorites like Ricochet, who has been making waves with his gravity-defying moves, and the formidable T-Bar, whose power and intensity have made him a standout competitor. The show will also feature a special segment where the future of some of WWE's most promising talents will be discussed, adding a layer of intrigue to an already action-packed lineup. 2. WWE Legend Spotlight. WWE Legend Spotlight is next on the agenda, paying homage to the legends who helped shape the wrestling world. This week's episode will focus on the careers of some of WWE's most iconic figures, with in-depth interviews and rare behind-the-scenes footage. Fans can expect a tribute to the legendary Stone Cold Steve Austin, exploring his transition from the ring to becoming a mainstream cultural icon. Additionally, the episode will dive into the storied career of The Undertaker, including never-before-seen footage of his early days and interviews with colleagues who witnessed his evolution firsthand. The Legend Spotlight aims to provide a nostalgic journey through the golden eras of WWE, celebrating the heroes who paved the way. 3. NXT TakeOver Rising Stars. NXT TakeOver Rising Stars is set to be a highlight of the weekend, featuring an electrifying lineup of emerging talents from WWE's developmental brand. This show is known for delivering high-quality matches and showcasing the future of WWE.